But what do you find when you look carefully at Mr. Hubbard? Jerry Armstrong was so close to Hubbard, the church appointed him researcher for Hubbard's biography. He assembled thousands of documents on Hubbard, but when he read them,
L. Ron Hubbard became a lie.
In Scientology's text, Hubbard claims he miraculously cured himself of combat wounds.
He was never wounded. He was never crippled. He was never blinded. He did spend some time under medical care for ulcers.
99% of what my father has written and said about himself is totally untrue. He's
made it up.
Well, that's right.
Profits from the bestseller went not to religion, says his son, but to the importing of drugs.
He furnished the money. I went along to guard the money. Through mafia friends of his, we imported cocaine and heroin through Colombia.
People were giving you money to get happiness, religion, some learning, and you were going to Mexico and Colombia with your father to buy drugs, marijuana and cocaine.
Correct.
Then in England, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and the United States, government agencies started investigating Hubbard and the church. Hubbard, however, never had to answer any questions because he moved Scientology's headquarters to this ship. And for 5 years, he ran the church from the ship.
You were on the boat with him for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You got married on the boat.
Right. He gave away my wife.
He was the surrogate father of the bride.
Exactly.
Several church officials who were on the boat now say Hubbard used the boat to store millions of dollars.
You would see it, help process it?
I helped clear it through customs.
Millions of dollars.
Millions, in briefcases.
Armstrong says in 1973, Hubbard went ashore to hide, and these pictures were taken of him in Queens, New York.
The reason he fled the ship was because of a French fraud case. He grew his hair long as part of a disguise, and whenever he went out in public, he wore a little hat and glasses.
At the same time, he and his church launched an attack on his enemies.
My father's basic policy has always been at least since 1952, is called fair game, which means that anybody that speaks out against Scientology, writes about Scientology, we would do everything in our power to destroy them.
Like what?
Find out every mean, down, dirty thing that they ever did in their life and use it against them.
It's an intelligence operation.
An intelligence operation? Gathering information on whom?
On anyone who would oppose L. Ron Hubbard and his dream.
The Scientologists had many techniques for harassing their enemies. In the late 1970s, they broke into the IRS and Justice Department to steal documents. 9 Scientology officers, including L. Ron Hubbard's wife, Mary Sue, were convicted for that break-in. Documents the FBI found in the church's Los Angeles office suggested other ways to harass an enemy.
Order hundreds of dollars worth of liquor in his name and have it delivered to his home to cause him trouble. Wake him up every night, phone and threatening him. Poison him while he's asleep so he'll never start another attack.
Are these the policies of a church? The church provided 2 spokesmen, church lawyer Harvey Silverglate and Scientology International President Reverend Hebert Jentz.
The church does not believe in that kind of a policy and has never held that kind of a policy. You're bound to have a few people who do not agree to the moral principles of the church.
Who totally on their own go out and break into people's offices.
On the other hand, what you're missing is that millions and millions of people follow the moral precepts, apply those, and have brought a tremendous amount of happiness to their own lives.
You made it clear after the break-ins that this was not church policy. At some point, did you make it extra clear to everybody, hey, we don't break in?
Correct. They've said that since about 5 minutes after my father created the policy in 1950.
The church says L. Ron Jr. is a liar and even signed an affidavit admitting it.
He admits that he's lied about the church and he's lied in depositions, etc., and he wants to make a clean breast of it.
L. Ron Jr. says he's no liar. He signed that statement, he says, only because the Scientologists threatened his family.